Good morning everybody and welcome to Bodhinyana Great Southern in Albany. We've been here for almost 12 months now. This is one of the newest centres of the Buddhist Society of WA, and my name is Venerable Mudu. I was sent down here by Ajahn Brahm, so I was one of his monks in Serpentine. So today we've got the half an hour session. I'm going to do a little bit of a talk and then a guided meditation. So I'd probably like to talk about one of the things that was very attractive about coming down here, which was coming down to Albany, which is like a mecca for car guys. And I used to be a car guy. I used to like Harley Davidsons and trucks and stuff. And I found that coming down here, I was amongst like-minded people. So Albany doesn't have that sort of what you'd have in Serpentine. In Serpentine, you've got the whole of Perth with the support network there. Here we just have, it's an old town. Albany was settled way before Perth was, a couple of years beforehand. So it's actually was going to be the capital of Western Australia, but it's now it's quite a large town. I think the third largest town in WA, or city. And having this kind of, they have a lot of car events here, and that's something that it was quite nice to come down here, be around those sorts of people, and they're the sorts of people that come to our meditations down here. At the moment we've got the coronavirus situation, so we're not teaching. That's why we're doing this video instead. So a big hello to all of our regular supporters in Albany and all the way around the Great Southern region. So one of the things that I like to do when I'm meditating is actually use some of the fuel. Well, I call it fuel, which is a good karma that I make during my life or during the day, and that's usually in the form of service. And when you do service or you do giving, you're actually kind of creating this kind of selflessness. And when you do that, you have this kind of what I call fuel for your meditation. It's like putting petrol in your meditation fuel tank, so that when you go to sit down and do some meditation, you already have this reserve of happiness that kind of stays in the mind. You've done the good deeds during the day or during your life, and it's not that you need to reflect on those good deeds when you do your meditation, but it's mainly that you have this kind of bank of kind of goodness in your mind, and that causes this kind of blamelessness, or you kind of results in this blamelessness. You're kind of doing good deeds, you're not doing bad deeds, and when you do that, you just have this blamelessness in the mind. People can't kind of point their finger at you. You can't point your finger at yourself. So you have this kind of contentment of the mind. Makes it a lot easier to sit down and meditate. If you have all sorts of negative thoughts and ideas rushing around in your mind, when you sit down to meditate, it makes it a lot more difficult. So what you find is people that I meet, and people that I've been around most of my life, are kind of giving people. So, for example, most of my life I was a surf lifesaver. And surf lifesaving is, in Australia, it's not being a lifeguard because that's a paid position. Surf lifesavers are volunteers. They give their time with an open heart. They don't expect anything in return. And what I find, and it includes the Surf Lifesaving Club here in Albany, is that you have this kind of level of happiness. I've been down to Albany Surf Club and I've seen the people down there. And what I find is that those people are just generally happy people. You don't see surf lifesavers walking around with a frown on their face. They basically have a good heart. They're trying to protect the beaches so that they're safe for people to swim on. And this act of giving, it causes this kind of natural happiness in the heart. Any sort of giving, so any sort of volunteer kind of work. And I've heard my teacher, Ajahn Brahm, say the same thing. People come to see him and ask for his advice on how they can tackle depression. And one of the first things he always says, he says, go and do some volunteer work. And when you do that, you know, there's really not a lot to be depressed about. You have this kind of, you do this giving, and it can be anything. It doesn't have to be surf lifesaving. It doesn't have to be a monk. So the monks, what they do, they give as well. They give their time. We don't have, we take the vow of poverty, so we don't have material things to give, but we always have our time to give. And even last night, I had a call from a homeless woman. I don't know how she got her number. She was in Albany, and she called up, and she said, I'm a homeless person. And with that, at first I didn't really know what to say. I kind of thought that maybe there's something that we could give her, but being a Buddhist kind of centre here, we don't really have, or Buddhist Hermitage to be correct, we don't really have a lot to give. But then I realised what I do have to give is my time. And I sat down and I talked to her for 15-20 minutes and just talked to her about whatever. And I ended up finding out, that she knows of Serpentine Buddhist Monastery. So even though she's homeless, she knows of these places. And I gave her the time, and at the end of the conversation, we had a lovely talk and a chat, and she seemed quite a lot happier. And I told her, you're welcome to call up any time. The door of my heart is always open. So this giving, that's the trick to meditation. The more you give, the more content you become, the more peaceful your heart is, and the easier it is to meditate. So if you're having some problems in meditating, have a look at how much you're giving to others, and maybe just see if you can give a little bit more. And there's, this is something that I was also told by Ajahn Ganha when I went to do a pilgrimage to Thailand to see the great masters. I went to see Ajahn Ganha. Ajahn Ganha is Ajahn Chah's nephew, and he's a big Ajahn, big Thai monk in Thailand, and also a very good friend of Ajahn Brahm's. So when I went to see him, I stayed there for one night, but I managed to have a personal kind of chat with Ajahn Ganha through a translator, and his advice to me. And he's a monk that is worthy of listening to. So when he talked to me, I was all ears, and I made sure I listened to what he said. And his advice to me as a monk was to give. And he says, when you're finished giving, then give some more. And then give some more. And then give some more. What he said was to never stop giving. And what I got out of that from Ajahn Ganha was that in a way, is the meaning of life, is to give to others. When you give to others, you get everything back tenfold. So that is some of my recommendations for good meditation. So now we'll do some meditation. We'll do a guided meditation for 20 minutes. Excuse me. So, with the guided meditation, we'll always start with going into the body. So we're going inside, going into the body and asking the body how it feels. And if there's any part of the body that feels uncomfortable, then you spend a little bit of time with it, giving it kindness. That might be by moving the body into a more comfortable position. If you can do that, then please do that. If you can't do that, and there's a part of the body which you can't find any comfortable position to get it into, then the very least you can do is send that part of your body kindness. And just use your mind. Just imagine sending kindness to that part of the body, and imagining all the tension and all the discomfort being relieved. And I would say, don't underestimate the power of the mind. To actually feel, have that feeling towards that part of the body that's uncomfortable, and you mean that feeling when you're imagining that this part of the body's having less discomfort, then it can actually have an effect. Give it a try. So I'll start with the body sweep meditation, and then after we've got the body nice and comfortable, when the body is comfortable, we can put the body down, we can let the body go. Because at the end of the day, when meditating, we're going inside the mind. And we can't do that until the body's comfortable. So we spend a little bit of time making the body comfortable, then we put the body to one side, we put the body down, we let go of the body, and then we go inside, into the mind. And we just see what happens in the mind. Just make peace, be kind, be gentle. To use Ajahn Brahm's words. They've never let me down. So the first thing we do is we close our eyes. And with the eyes closed, we just have a bit of a look with the eyes closed and see what it looks like. And with the eyes closed, there's still some visual stuff coming through in the mind. May it be swirling shapes and patterns. Whatever it is, make a note of it. Acknowledge what you see. So that's the first of the 5 senses we aim to relax. And then the next one, or the next 2, is sense of smell, sense of taste. We're not eating, so those sense doors, they're pretty much relaxed. They're closed. There's nothing happening there. So we can move on to the next. The 5 senses, the sense of sound. And whatever sounds you can hear, we have the loud ticking clock in here. What do you do with loud ticking clocks and other noises? You make peace with them. How do you make peace with these noises? You be kind. You allow that sound to be. Whatever sound it's making, you don't wish for it to be any other way than it is. And when you have that sort of kindness to the sounds that may be unpleasant or annoying, then they become like background noises when you have that level of kindness to them. So you make peace, you be kind and you be gentle. And the sounds just drop away, become background noises. Then we move to the last of the 5 senses, the sense of touch. And we do a quick body scan through the body and just let each part of the body become relaxed so that we can put it down and let go of the body. And with the 5 senses all relaxed, then we can move to the 6th sense, sense of the mind. So I start with my toes, I give them a little bit of a wriggle. So how are you feeling, toes? And my toes answer back. My left toe's a little bit cold. So giving it a bit of a wriggle, actually circulating some blood through there. My toes are saying thank you. And you move to the next part of your body, through the soles of your feet, just moving this awareness of kindness. Or as Ajahn Brahm calls it, kindfulness. Move this kindfulness through the soles of your feet to the next part, to your ankles. Just acknowledge how they feel. What sensations do you feel? Any tension, any tightness there? from the soles up into the calf muscles. How do they feel? What sensations do you notice? And from the calf muscles up to the knees. Again, just notice any sensations there. Any tightness, any tension, any discomfort. If there's something you can do about it, then readjust your position. If there's nothing you can do, then just send kindness. May you be well, knees. Then moving from the knees up into the large muscles of the upper legs. How do they feel? And from the large muscles in the upper legs into your hips, moving this kindfulness from your hips into your tummy. I like to say thank you to my tummy for digesting all of those meals that it does without any complaints. Thank you, tummy. And from the tummy, I move to my breath. Just taking a moment to notice what the breath feels like. How smooth is your breath? How rough is it? How heavy is your breath? How light is it? Take a moment to notice how your breath feels. And from your breath, from your beautiful breath, move your awareness up into your shoulders, asking, how do they feel? Is there any tension there? If so, give your shoulders a bit of a wriggle. Move them into a more comfortable position. And from the shoulders down the arms, elbows, lower arms, wrists, hands and fingers. And lastly, move your awareness, your kindfulness up into your neck. If you like, give your neck a bit of a wriggle. Just let those creaks and crackles flow through with kindness. This is the last part of the body we can allow to become relaxed before we almost move into the mind. But just before we do that, move your awareness up into your head, around to the front of your face, and just noticing the sensations in your eyes and around your mouth. This is the body sweep meditation. So now with the body as relaxed as it can be, we can put the body down. We can put the body to one side very gently, very kindly, very softly. And now we can move our awareness inside, into the mind. What does it look like inside your mind? What can you see? And how does it feel? This is your task as a meditator. Now to hang out in the mind, to be with the mind. Allow the mind to be. Your job is to be a friend to the mind. Allow the mind to be. Allow the mind to do what it wants to do. If the mind wants to go left, then let it go left. The mind wants to go right, then let it go right. If the mind is running around in circles, then allow it to run around in circles. This is being kind. The moment you order your mind to stop running around in circles, or when it wants to go left, you tell it to go right. When it wants to go right, you tell it to go left. That is not being kind to your mind. When you bring this kindness to your mind, allow it to be, but from a distance, not getting involved, allowing your mind to be. When you have that sort of kindness, then after a while your mind realizes you're being kind. And what it does is it be kind back to you. And all by itself it stops running around. All by itself it stops moving to the left and to the right. So please be kind to your mind. When you be kind to your mind, after a while, the mind will just settle down all by itself. Your mind will want to hang out with you when you be kind to it. Just like any person you be kind to, they want to hang out with you. So that is your task, the rest of the meditation, to hang out with your mind and just see what happens. Sit back and watch the show. So for the last 10 or so minutes, I'm going to remain silent. Allow you to be with your mind. And at the end of the meditation, I'll ring the gong 3 times. getting close to the end of the meditation. Before we finish the meditation, please just look back through your last 20 or so minutes, and if you noticed any pieces of meditation where you had peace come up, please recognize them and please value them. I'm now going to ring the gong 3 times. Please wait till the last ring of the gong before coming out of meditation. Thank you everybody for joining us in meditation down here at Bodhinyana Great Southern in Albany. I'd like to thank the rain for joining us as well. Beautiful Albany rain. And lastly, I'd like to dedicate this meditation to the great Formula One driver Sterling Moss, who passed away on Sunday. Thanks again for joining us here on Wednesday, the 15th, I think, of April 2020. Bye-bye.